Well, I did it. I pulled the trigger on the Scream Factory Friday the 13th collection. Deluxe Edition. Today I'm going to talk about this and why in 2025 I decided to get this instead of starting a 4K collection of Friday the 13th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. My name is Alec. This is Yoshi and Darwin. So I just picked up this Scream Factory set that was released originally in 2020, 5 years ago. They still make the thing, you can still get it, and it's down to $130 on Amazon. Sometimes it goes on sale even cheaper than that. When you consider just how much you're getting, you can't beat that price. Especially if you're comparing it to buying the movies on 4K, some of which aren't even on 4K yet. So before we start digging into the actual contents of the box, I wanted to explain why I bought this box in 2025 versus going the 4K route. Previously to getting this set, I did have all the movies. A couple years ago, I bought this set at Walmart, I think for about 20 bucks, and I had, I think, only the first two Friday the 13th movies on DVD before that. So for me to collect this was a big deal then. I hadn't even seen them all when I got this originally, because I was never the biggest Friday the 13th fan. I've always been more of a Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play guy. Even the Halloween movies, I saw all of those before I saw these. It's just not my favorite slasher series, but I do like it, you know what I mean? It's still iconic, it's great. Some of them really stand out as awesome, awesome movies. This is my oldest Friday the 13th, if you want to consider it part of that franchise. DVD in my collection. I got it for my birthday the year it came out. And you'll notice that 8-film collection didn't include Jason X or Jason Goes to Hell, which I have the little 2-pack here. I will note they're on one disc. Sorry, the cats are going to war in front of me. Yeah, awesome. A couple months ago, I picked up the Blu-ray release of Freddy vs. Jason to compare it to the DVD release. Honestly, they were shockingly similar. The DVD looks great too. What's interesting is this is the same release. It's just a copy of this disc that's in the new set I got from Shout, so not really upgrading that or anything, but basically I decided I'm going to prioritize 4K, you know. If it's on sale, if it's the same price, and or if it's something I really love, one of my favorite movies of all time, if I think there's a reason to get it on 4K, I will. If there's not, I'm going to be sticking with Blu-rays, maybe even DVDs, depending on the movie, you know? That's just who I am. So let's dig into this thing. I'm just going to pull them out in order and we're going to talk about them because it seems fun to me. Physical media, man. I just love getting my hands on this stuff and touching it and opening it and looking at it. Yoshi wants me to pet him instead of opening this, but... So most of these either have the original poster artwork or, you know, the artwork that we're all familiar with at least. What's cool about this one is it does have the original theatrical version on one disc and the uncut version on another. I've actually never seen the uncut version, so that's really cool to me. Again, this is one of those franchises that it was a little bit lower on my list always, you know. Another reason I'm just fine having it on Blu-ray. However, the first 4 movies in here are 4K scans, and some people have said in certain reviews that these scans look better than the other ones, even though they're Blu-ray quality, not 4K. A lot of these discs also feature the what I assume is original, like, theatrical poster artwork. So, you know, that is a flip side for it, which is pretty cool. Some of them don't have that. They just have, you know, regular artwork. Some of them have, like, the Jason Goes to Hell one. The artwork's pretty similar, but the spine is different. So that's the original logo instead of, like, the matching logo that looks uniform. Personally, I think I'm leaving them all as they are. Part 2, again, great artwork. Love it. Beautiful. The fact that they're in clear cases is interesting and unique. We'll talk about all the special features and all that stuff at the end here, too, because there are a lot. More than enough for me, at least. Part 3 being one of my favorites. You know, the theme song for this movie actually was a big influence on the theme song for Ecto-Violence. And I like that this has the new 3D transfer, so you could watch it if you have a 3D Blu-ray player and 3D TV, which I think I might have to invest in at some point. The final chapter, again, you know, this one's a classic. It's arguably the best one. I think it's the best one. It's not my personal favorite. It is in my top 3, but Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover, sold, you know what I mean? The only thing I think would make this set even better is if all of the alternate slips were essentially the VHS rental artwork that we grew up with. And a lot of them are kind of like at least reminiscent of that, or they're very similar. There's just a few that you're like, oh, that's not the one I'm used to seeing. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, being one of them. I don't think I've ever seen that poster artwork for this movie. And the alternate, I was like, I wonder if it's the one I'm familiar with. And it's not, it's just more stuff I'm unfamiliar with. Minor gripe, because I think this is the only one that I have that complaint with. And some of you might be familiar, there was a disc printing error with some of these when they originally came out. But at this point, they are automatically included, the replacement discs. I think it was for Part 3, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. Now you can check the serial numbers on the disc. I think that's the way to tell. If it says R1 at the end of the serial number on the edge, then you do have the updated replacement discs. I've seen other people order the sets directly from Shout, and they packaged the discs separately and still gave people the original messed up discs, which was interesting. But I just got this one from Amazon, so if you're wondering, does Amazon have the updated discs? Am I still gonna have to send away for replacements? Do they make replacement discs? Are they doing that program still? Questions answered. They are just making them with the updated disc, which makes sense, right? God damn if that's not the most beautiful Friday the 13th poster. Look at that kitty, he's beautiful too. Jason Goes to Hell, this is another one that's very interesting because it includes an unrated version. And I have not seen the unrated version for this either. It's going to be very fun for me to dig through this set very slowly over time. Last night I watched parts 6 and 8 because part 6 I've always heard from people is really good, but I'm less familiar with. Part 8 was the first one I watched as a kid, so it's actually my favorite. I know, controversial hot take. I know how people feel about that movie, but another one I rather like, Jason X. Really goofy, but just a fun time if you ask me. Freddy vs. Jason, again, we talked about this. It's kind of the same disc that they previously had released, so not like a crazy upgrade there or anything. Then we've got the remake. And here's the thing, I've seen this one time. I saw this movie in theaters when it originally released in, 2009? And I didn't hate it. I liked it, but I haven't seen it since. So I'm really interested to put this on and see how I feel about it now. Michael Bay produced it, and I really like some of the horror movies that Michael Bay produced remakes of, you know what I mean? He did some good work. And here is a great addition for this set. Something that, I think a lot of this stuff you can only get with this set. Two discs of bonus material, which we're going to go through in just a second here. On the outside of the box, when I got it, this was stuck to it, and it lists off kind of everything that's inside. We're going to go over that. But amongst all 16 of those discs, there's also a 50-page book included. 50 pages. That's like a small novel. That's crazy. Plenty of awesome information in there too. So let's talk about the special features that are listed here. New 4K scans from the original camera negatives for Friday the 13th. Both versions, including the original and the uncut, in 4K. Well, not in 4K on the disc, but you know what I mean. As well as parts 2, 3, and 4, including a new 3D version of part 3. New 2K scans of the inner positive of Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, with high-def inserts on the unrated version. That'd be interesting to see. New audio commentaries, new interviews, new location featurette, new 60-page booklet. It says 60 pages, but it said, I swear to God, there was only 50 in there. I don't know. Previous audio commentaries, the Friday the 13th Chronicles, Secrets Galore, documentary Slice and Dice, the slasher film Forever, documentary Scream Queens, Horror Heroines Exposed, original theatrical trailers, TV spots, and radio spots, Fangoria magazine still galleries, and much more. This is a very complete version, and with the rights being everywhere that they are for the Friday the 13th franchise, let's look at the credits on the bottom of the box. You have Scream Factory, obviously, Shout Factory. Then you've got Paramount, New Line Cinema, and Warner Brothers listed. The work that went into putting this thing out is probably not going to be done again, officially anyway. Now, if you watch Planet CHH, you're probably familiar with some of these people who make custom boxes for some of these sets and stuff, and I've seen a lot of cool people with interesting ways to display their 4Ks for this series, but I doubt we'll ever see an official release with all of them put together like this. It is, to me, a very interesting piece of physical media history, as well as the definitive way to own these movies for me. Now, if Friday the 13th is like your favorite slasher franchise, you probably already own this, and you own the 4Ks. But I had to talk about this because this is one of those collection sets that everybody knows about. If you're into physical media or horror, and if you're into both, the crossover, everybody's aware of this thing. So I figured, I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Let me know what you guys think of this Scream Factory set. Do you have it? Is this set, or would it be enough for you if you did? Or have you moved on to the 4Ks? And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.